Hi, today I'm doing the second part of my video series on Middle Eastern beauty. I see loads of girls from the Middle East in my practice. They are so beautifully blessed with this gorgeous honey-toned complexion, great brows and lashes and amazing hair, but they do have particular issues that are innate to where they live some of the time. They live in hot, dry countries which can be really challenging and produce certain patterns of change and aging that are specific to them. So I just thought it'd be useful to address these issues in a series of videos. Now, cosmetics. So I think that I do a lot of product recommendations when it comes to my patients because in particular I see a lot of people who are acne prone. I think it's important to stay with brands that are sensitive to that issue whenever they're formulating. Now, of course, it's all very well saying that a product's a great texture, but the important thing is also that it's a good colour match for your skin. And I think certain brands do this better than others. So of the brands that I think that are really compatible with acne-prone skin, those that do the best shades for girls who have olive-toned complexions or golden-toned complexions are Armani and NARS. Now, I often think that people use more coverage than they necessarily need. And of course, part and parcel of improving someone's skin when it comes to blemishes or redness or brown spots is about giving them the confidence to wear less and to kind of own their own skin texture better. So a product like this from Armani, which is the Maestro Glow, is a really lovely sheer dewy finish light coverage product in a great range of shades for girls of all skin tones. And I like this very much. Obviously, I also like Luminous Silk, which is my personal go-to, and it's what I would use if I need a little bit more coverage but still want the skin to look like skin. But I think Maestro Glow is also lovely, especially whenever you kind of want to reward yourself for doing all the hard work by improving your skin and you just want it to show through, but in a slightly enhanced format. NARS, I think, is also awesome, and I think that their Radiant Creamy Concealer is a well-deserved staple in many girls' makeup bag, and in particular those with Middle Eastern complexions. It's a really great product with good pigments, so it gives great coverage, and it's versatile. It can be used not only on the face to conceal blemishes or dark marks, but it can also be used under eye as well because it stays moist all day and doesn't tend to crack and dry out and go into lines. So I think that between NARS and Armani, if you're blemish prone and have a Middle Eastern complexion, that these are good ranges to start with. If your skin is blameless and doesn't tend to break out, then I think the range of products is broader, and Makeup Forever, Bobbi Brown and Smashbox all do a good range of shades too. Facial hair removal is a bugbear for so many women, and I see a lot of it especially in my polycystic ovarian syndrome patients who are acne prone as well. And it's certainly a real challenge. What do you do about facial hair? There is no perfect solution. I did a piece for Harper's Bazaar and talked to Arabella Preston, the makeup artist, about this some time ago. And we agreed that you really do have to just pick your technique according to what makes the most sense for you. Now, for some, laser hair removal will be the best solution because it's more definitive and results in something like 70 to 80% permanent reduction in hair growth. But it's difficult to combine laser hair removal with pigmented skin because there is greater risk of problems like pigmentation after treatment. And it's difficult whenever you're on medication for problem skin. So prescription grade retinoids and benzoyl peroxide, many clinics aren't comfortable treating skin whenever you've been using these sorts of products. Now, as far as safety goes, probably threading is the safest, easiest method to use. Of course, it's not going to give you the same longevity of results, but it's less likely to trigger things like breakouts and folliculitis, which can often occur with the more long-lasting forms of hair removal like waxing. Waxing is also very difficult if you're using retinoids, and if you're following my way of approaching your skin, you're probably using a retinoid. So waxing is really tricky because it tends to leave behind these sort of little sellotape-like marks where it lifts off some of the top layers of the skin. So waxing is definitely to be avoided if you're using retinoids. So threading. The problem with threading is that you have to keep going back week upon week. So for many, they want something that they can use at home that is safe and easy and convenient. But for example, depilation creams are too messy or they irritate. Shaving kind of leads to coarse stubble regrowing. And actually, what I found recently is a patient who introduced me to something called the EpiCare, which is actually almost a home threading device. And the reason it's good is because actually it will deal with the fine, fluffy hair that oftentimes is a concern that kind of develops in the cheeks. And it's quite common just as we get older. And it's also common in women who have got these subtle hormone imbalances that you see with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it's certainly something to try, and you may not have heard of it. It's called the EpiCare, and we'll put a link down below. And then finally, epilation is an option. It's a bit uncomfortable, but again, much like threading and this device, the EpiCare, it gets easier with time. So those methods of hair removal don't interfere with the skin, so they don't interrupt your skincare program, and they potentially give you some control over it at home without having to go into a salon or a clinic to do it yourself. Finally, hydration. Again, it's one of those things my patients are always telling me, you don't understand how difficult it is to keep skin hydrated in some of the places that they live. So Saudi, Kuwait, Bahrain, they literally refer to being in a blow dryer. That's how hot and dry the air is. So I think that, again, it's important whenever you're concerned with hydration that you're also using products that are sympathetic to common skin concerns like breakouts, so that you're not applying something that's so luxe and occlusive that a horde of spots is going to follow on from that. Now, in that sense, I think it's important certainly to make sure that nothing you're doing is contributing to drying your skin out further. So look at your cleanser. Something like the La Roche-Posay Toleriane Dermo Cleanser is a great option. It's non-foaming, it won't dry skin out, and can be used without water if you find that preferable, because certainly, you know, exposure to hot water can be quite drying. So for some, just using a wipe off or tissue off cleanser is preferable. Moisturizer, you want something that's going to give you long-lasting effects on the skin, and typically you want to use an occlusive moisturizer, something that's going to actually coat the skin and trap water in the skin, rather than humectant ingredients which draw water from elsewhere to create a supple skin barrier. So ingredients like shea butter are really useful whenever you live in a very hot country with dry air, or indeed are in air conditioning a lot. And the same is actually true for winter skin whenever you're inside in centrally heated environment as well. I'm a big fan of Obagi, their Hydrate and their Hydrate Luxe. I think are both hugely effective when faced with this kind of challenge. Certainly when I'm flying, I find Hydrate an essential part of my in-air kit, because I find it to be one of the best things to stop my skin from drying out. Epion's Barrier Cream is also excellent, as is Avène Recovery Cream, which comes in a light and a rich format. So I think don't be scared of moisturizer. There are many formats that will give you long-lasting hydration without breaking you out. Have some flexibility, lighter for day, richer for nighttime, and nourish your skin to ensure that you cope well with your environment. So there we have it, second of my video on Middle Eastern beauty. I hope you found that interesting. Please subscribe below and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.